When we spend unconsciously, we rob ourselves of both the money and the enjoyment. This person wasn't even enjoying those meals. They were just mindlessly ordering food because it was easy. The result? They cut their food spending by about $300 a month. And that $300 went straight into savings. You're listening to Everyone's Talking Money, the show that's all about making life richer. Whether you're here to crush debt, build wealth, or finally feel in control of your cash, you are in the right place. Be honest. When's the last time you looked at your money without immediately wanting to take a nap? The truth is, your finances have been quietly living their best life all year long. And it's time to find out if they've been working for you or just freeloading. You're listening to Everyone's Talking Money, the show that's all about making life richer, from your bank account to your mindset and everything in between. Whether you're here to crush debt, grow wealth, or finally feel in control of your cash, you are in the right place. Let's dive in and get you living life on your terms. You are one conversation closer to financial freedom. I know, it's November. You're already thinking about holiday shopping lists, family dinners, and whether you can realistically pull off hosting Thanksgiving without a minor breakdown. The last thing you want to think about is opening up your bank statements and doing math. But here's what I want you to consider. The decisions you make in the next 6 to 8 weeks could literally save you thousands of dollars next year. Not someday, not eventually, next year. Welcome to Smart Money Moves Before Year End, Episode 1. This series is designed to help you finish this year strong and walk into 2026 with actual confidence about your finances. I'm your host, Shari, and over the next few episodes, we're going to cover everything from tax strategies to retirement account tweaks to the subscriptions that are quietly draining your soul and your wallet. Today, we're starting with the foundation, your year-end financial checkup. Think of this as your money's report card. And yes, you can still bring up your grade before the quarter ends. Let's get into it. Okay, real talk for a second. If the idea of looking at your finances right now makes you want to crawl under a weighted blanket and pretend it's already 2026, you are not alone. Year-end money reflection brings up a lot of feelings: guilt, shame, avoidance. That weird knot in your stomach when you think about how much you spent on DoorDash in August. Or how your savings goal was $10,000 and you're sitting at $1,200 or maybe less. And let's be honest, life has been a lot this year. Inflation is still doing its thing. Rent and mortgage rates are still high in most places. Grocery costs what a car payment used to cost. If you're a parent, childcare probably costs more than your college tuition did. And if you've been job hunting or dealing with burnout or just trying to survive, the idea that you're supposed to have your financial life perfectly together right now, well, that's laughable. So let me say this clearly. This is not about perfection. This isn't about shaming yourself for what you didn't do. It's not about comparing yourself to some Instagram finance influencer who claims they save 70% of their income while also traveling to Bali every other month. We're not doing that here. This is about awareness. It's about looking at the year with curiosity instead of judgment. It's about asking yourself, where did my money go? Did it go where I wanted it to go? And if not, what can I adjust before January? Think of this like a financial report card, but one where you're both the student and the teacher. You get to decide what counts as success. You get to define what doing well means for your life, not someone else's highlight reel. Here's how we're going to break it down. I want you to think about your financial year in 4 big categories. 1, spend. Where did your money go? 2, save. How did you save and grow your wealth? 3, earn. What did you earn and what did you learn? 4, protect. Are you financially protected if life throws you a curveball? These 4 categories are your audit checklist. And over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to walk through each one so that by the end of this episode, you have a clear picture of where you stand and what you need to do before December 31st. Sound good? Let's dive in. All right, step 1. Where did your money go? I want you to imagine for a second that your money could talk. If it sat down with you at the end of the year and gave you a full report, what would it say? Hey, remember when you bought that thing you never used? Yeah, that was fun. Or maybe, we spent $400 on coffee this year, right? Just checking if that was intentional. Look, I'm not here to tell you that every dollar needs a job or that you can't spend money on things that bring you joy. But here's the truth. Most of us have no idea where our money actually goes. We think we're being responsible. We think we have a general sense on our spending. And then we look at our bank statement and realize we spent $89 on a subscription we forgot we had, or $300 at Target when we only went in for laundry detergent. Or, and this one's my personal favorite, $50 on that I'll definitely use this someday kitchen gadget that's been sitting in the box for 6 months. So here's what I want you to do this week. Pull up your bank or credit card app and look at your top spending categories for the year. Most apps will give you a breakdown. Groceries, dining out, shopping, entertainment, subscriptions, transportation, all that good stuff. If your app doesn't do this automatically, you can use a budgeting tool like You Need a Budget, or even just a simple spreadsheet. Once you have that breakdown in front of you, I want you to ask yourself one question. Do these numbers reflect my values? Because here's the thing, spending isn't inherently bad. It's not about deprivation or living on rice and beans forever. It's about intentionality. It's about making sure that your money is going towards the things that actually matter to you. So if you spend $2,000 on travel this year, and travel is one of your core values, that's not a problem. That's alignment. But if you spent $2,000 on random online shopping because an ad showed up in your Instagram feed, or you were bored and Amazon was right there, that's a completely different conversation. Let me give you a real example. I was working with someone recently who was convinced they didn't have enough money to save. They felt broke all the time. By the time we pulled up their spending, we found that they were spending about $600 a month on dining out and food delivery. Now, I obviously did not tell them to stop eating. I'm not a monster. But I did ask them, is this bringing you $600 worth of joy every month? Or is it just convenient? And they paused and they said, honestly, most of the time, I don't even remember what I ordered. That's the thing. When we spend unconsciously, we rob ourselves of both the money and the enjoyment. When we spend unconsciously, we rob ourselves of both the money and the enjoyment. This person wasn't even enjoying those meals. They were just mindlessly ordering food because it was easy. And that $600 could have been going towards something they actually cared about, like the emergency fund they were worried about not having. So we made a plan together, not to eliminate dining out completely, because that's not realistic or sustainable, but to be more intentional about it. They decided to meal prep on Sundays so they had easy options during the week. They committed to cooking at home 4 nights a week, and they gave themselves permission to order out 3 nights a week without guilt. The result? They cut their food spending by about $300 a month. And that $300 went straight into savings. That's $3,600 a year just from being more intentional about one category. Now, let me tell you about the sneaky spending category that trips most people up. The ones that don't feel like a big deal in the moment, but add up to thousands over the year. First up, subscriptions. This is the silent killer of budgets. Streaming services, music apps, fitness memberships you don't use, software subscriptions, delivery services, wine clubs, beauty boxes. Most people have between 5 and 12 active subscriptions, and half of them are things they forgot they were paying for. Now listen, I have no problem with subscriptions if you use it and enjoy it and love it. And it's like if it wasn't happening every month for you automatically, you would gladly be paying it. That's what a subscription should be. I want you to go through your bank statement right now and make a list of every recurring charge. Then cancel everything you're not actively using at least once a week. If you're using it, keep it. There's nothing wrong with having a subscription that you use. It's the problem with the ones you're not using. Next, convenience spending. DoorDash fees, Uber instead of public transit, Same-day shipping upgrades, grocery delivery markups, dry cleaning pickup charges. All of these services are convenient, yes, but they come with fees and markups that add up shockingly fast. Calculate how much you spend on convenience this year and decide if it was actually worth it. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you're paying for time and sanity, and that's valid. But sometimes you're just being lazy, and that's expensive. Then there's impulse purchases, the stuff you buy on a whim. Late night online shopping when you can't sleep. Target runs that somehow turn into $150 trips. Sale items you bought just because they were on sale, not because you actually needed them. This is where having a 24-hour rule really helps. If you want something, put it in your cart and wait 24 hours. If you still want it the next day, buy it. But most of the time, you've completely forgotten about it. And finally, social spending. Dinners out, rounds of drinks, concert tickets, sporting events, girls' trips, bachelor parties, birthday gifts. Social spending is tricky because it's tied to relationships and FOMO. You don't want to be the person who never goes out, but you also can't say yes to everything and then wonder why you're broke. It's okay to set boundaries here. It's okay to suggest cheaper alternatives. It's okay to say no. Real friends will understand. So here's your action step for this segment. Pick one spending category that got out of hand this year and make a plan to rein it in before January. Maybe it's subscriptions. Maybe it's impulse shopping. Maybe it's saying yes to every dinner invite when you'd rather stay home. Whatever it is, just pick one thing, not 10, just one. And here's a bonus exercise. When you pull up your top 10 transactions from the year, the big ones, the ones that make you wince a little when they came out of your account, look at each one and ask yourself, does this feel good? If the answer is yes, if it was a meaningful experience or a necessary expense or something that truly added value to your life, great, no regrets. But if the answer is no, if you're looking at that charge and feeling a little icky about it, that's information. That's data you can use to make better decisions moving forward. Because remember, this isn't about shame, it's about clarity. And clarity is power. All right. Step 2, how did you save and grow your wealth this year? Let's start with the good news. If you saved anything this year, and I mean anything, even $50, you're already ahead of a huge percentage of people. So let's just celebrate that for a second. Seriously, if you put money away even once, even a little bit, that matters. Now, don't go using the savings on your celebration. I do have to warn you there. Now, let me put this into real perspective for you. If you contribute an extra $1,000 to your retirement account right now, and it grows at an average of 7% per year, in 30 years, that $1,000 will be worth over $7,600. That's the power of compound growth. That's why every dollar matters, even if it doesn't feel much right now. And here's something most people don't think about. The best time to contribute to a retirement account is actually at the beginning of the year, not the end. Why? Because that money has more time to grow. But since we're here at the end of the year, let's talk about what you can still do. Here are the 2025 contribution limits you need to know. For your 401k, it's $23,000 if you're under 50, or $30,500 if you're 50 or older. For your IRA, whether it's traditional or Roth, it's $7,000 if you're under 50, or $8,000 if you're 50 or older. And for your HSA, which is one of the most underutilized tax-advantaged accounts out there, it's $4,300 for individuals or $8,500 or $50 for families, plus an extra $1,000 if you're 55 or older. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is this all or nothing thinking. They think, well, I can't max out my 401k, so there's really no point in contributing at all. And that's just wrong. It's like saying, I can't run a marathon, so I might as well not exercise at all. It doesn't make any sense. Every bit counts. Every contribution moves you forward. If you can only afford to increase your 401k contribution by 1%, do that. That's still money working for you. That's still progress. Let me give you another example. I worked with someone who was convinced they couldn't save because they had too much debt. They had about $15,000 in credit card debt, and they thought they had to pay that off completely before they could start saving. But here's what we did instead. We created a balanced approach. They put 70% of their extra money toward debt and 30% towards savings. Why? Because emergencies don't stop happening just because you have debt. If they had put every single dollar towards debt and their car broke down, guess what? They'd have to put that car repair right back on the credit card. So by building a small emergency fund while paying off debt, they were actually protecting their progress. Within 18 months, they paid off $10,000 of debt and saved $3,000 in their emergency fund. They were making progress on both fronts. And psychologically, it felt so much better to see both numbers improving instead of feeling like they were sacrificing everything for one goal. But let's dig a little bit deeper. At the beginning of this year, did you set any savings goals? Maybe you wanted to build up your emergency fund. Maybe you wanted to max out your IRA or contribute more to your 401k. Maybe you had a big purchase coming up, a car, a wedding, a down payment on a house, and you were trying to save for that. So here's the question. Did you hit those goals? If the answer is yes, amazing. Pop some champagne, do a little dance. You should feel proud of that because saving money in this economy is hard. But if the answer is no, if you fell short or didn't save as much as you wanted to, I need you to resist the urge to beat yourself up. Instead, I want you to ask yourself, what got in the way? Was it an unexpected expense, a medical bill, a car repair, something that threw your whole budget off? Was it inflation eating into your budget more than you expected? Was it a life change, a move, a job loss, a new baby? Or be honest with me here. Was it just that you didn't prioritize it? Because that's okay too. That's not a moral failing. That's just information. The reason I'm asking you to reflect on this is because if you don't understand why you didn't hit your goal, 2, 1, you're just going to set the same goal next year and have the same result. And that's frustrating for everyone. So let's talk about what you can do before the year ends. If you haven't maxed out your retirement accounts yet, your IRA, your 401k, your HSA, there's still time. You have until December 31st to make contributions to your 401k or HSA, or until April 15th of next year to contribute to your IRA for 2025. I know it's tight. I know money's probably already tight with the holidays coming up. But even adding $100 or $200 to one of these accounts can make a difference. It lowers your taxable income. It grows tax-free or tax-deferred, and it's a win for future you. And here's the thing. Progress beats perfection every single time. You don't have to max out your accounts to win. You don't have to hit some arbitrary number to be good enough. If you contributed $3,000 to your IRA instead of the full $7,000, that's still $3,000 you didn't have before. That's still growth, and that's still momentum. Now, let's do a quick mindset check because this is important. When you think about saving money, what's the feeling behind it? Are you saving because it feels good? Because you're building something? Because you're creating options for yourself and your family? Or are you saving out of fear, out of scarcity, out of this constant anxiety that something bad is going to happen and you won't have enough? Because here's the truth. Both will get you to save money, but only one of them will let you actually enjoy your life while you do it. If your savings feels like a prison, if you're restricting yourself to the point where you're miserable, that's not sustainable. You're going to burn out. You're going to rebel. And then you're going to feel guilty and the whole cycle starts over. So as you're looking at your savings this year, I want you to ask yourself, am I building security or am I operating from scarcity? Because one of those is empowering and the other one is exhausting. So here's your action step. Before the end of the year, decide on one savings move you're going to make. Maybe it's topping off your emergency fund. Maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer so savings happens without you thinking about it. Maybe it's finally opening that high yield savings account you've been putting off. Just pick one thing, make the move, and then give yourself credit. Step 3, what did you earn and what did you learn? This one's fun because we're going to celebrate some wins. And I don't care how humble you are or how much imposter syndrome you're carrying around. You had wins this year. You did. So let's start here. Did you get a raise, a promotion, a new job? Did you start a side hustle? Did you sell something? Did you negotiate your salary? If you did any of these things, I need you to pause and actually acknowledge it. Write it down. Say it out loud. Text a friend because career and income wins are huge and we don't celebrate them enough. And if you didn't get a raise or a promotion this year, let me ask you this. Did you survive? Did you show up? Did you navigate layoffs, now industry changes, or just the general chaos of trying to work in 2025? Because that counts too. Sometimes the win is just still being here. Now, let's talk numbers for a second. Do you know your personal profit margin? That's just a fancy way of saying how much do you earn and how much of it do you actually get to keep after your essentials are covered. Here's how to calculate it. Take your total income for the year, your salary, side hustle earnings, freelance work, whatever. Then subtract your essential expenses, rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, debt payments. What's left? That's your profit margin. That's your breathing room. That's the money you have to save, invest, spend on fun stuff, or build wealth with. If that number feels tight, if it feels like there's barely anything left after your essentials, that's a sign you might need to look at increasing your income or decreasing your fixed costs. And I know, Shari, easier said than done, but it's worth thinking about strategically. Can you refinance your car to a lower payment? Can you move to a lower cost area when your lease is up? Can you negotiate your insurance rates? Can you pick up a side gig for even just a few months to create more breathing room? These aren't fun questions, but they're important ones. And here's something I want you to think about. Your income is probably the biggest lever you have in your financial life. You can cut expenses all day long, but there's a floor to that. You can only cut so much, but your income, there's no ceiling on that. You can always find ways to earn more. So here's the big question I want you to sit with. Are you earning what you're worth? Not what you need to survive, not what you think you deserve based on some arbitrary standard, but what you're actually worth based on your skills, your experience, your value in the market. If the answer is no, if you feel underpaid or undervalued or stuck, then it might be time to have a conversation with your boss, with a recruiter, with yourself. And listen, I get it. The job market is weird right now. Some industries are booming, some are tanking. No one really knows what's happening with AI and automation and all of that. But here's what I know. The people who are thriving financially are the people who are actively managing their earning potential. They're not just waiting for raises to fall from the sky. They're asking for them. They're switching jobs. They're upskilling. They're building side income streams. So, your action step here before the year ends, I want you to do one thing to invest in your earning potential. Maybe that's updating your resume. Maybe that's scheduling a meeting with your boss to talk about a raise. Maybe that's signing up for a course or a certification that'll make you more valuable. Maybe it's just researching what people in your role are actually making so you have data to work with. Just one thing. That's it. And a quick sneak preview, next summer, we're launching a whole series on money and career growth. So if this resonates with you, stay tuned. We're going to go deep on negotiation, job transitions, side hustles, all of it. Step 4, are you protected? I know. This is the least sexy part of personal finance. Nobody wants to talk about insurance and wills and beneficiary forms. It's boring. It's morbid. It feels like something you'll deal with later. But here's the thing. Financial protection is wealth building. It's just the part nobody likes to talk about on Instagram. Because you can save all the money in the world, but if you don't have the right protections in place, one emergency can wipe it all out. One accident, one illness, one lawsuit. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to wake you up. So let's do a quick protection checklist. I want you to mentally go through these as I say them. And if the answer is, I don't know, or I haven't checked in years, that's your signal to take action. Insurance. Do you have health insurance? If you have dependents, do you have life insurance? Do you have disability insurance? That's the thing that replaces your income if you can't work. Do you have renters or homeowners insurance? Car insurance? I know insurance feels like throwing money into a black hole, but it's not. It's paying for peace of mind. It's paying so that if something happens, you're not financially destroyed. Wills and estate planning. Do you have a will? Do you have a power of attorney? Do you have a healthcare directive so someone can make medical decisions for you if you can't? And before you say, I don't have enough money to need a will, let me stop you right there. If you have anything, a bank account, a car, a pet, a preference for who raises your kids if something happens to you, you need a will, full stop. Beneficiaries. When was the last time you checked the beneficiaries on your retirement accounts, life insurance, or bank accounts? Because here's a fun fact. Beneficiary designations override your will. So if you got divorced 5 years ago and never updated your 401k, guess who's getting your money? Your ex. Yeah, him. We do not want that to happen. So let's go check those out. Password and financial documents. Does anyone in your life know where your important documents are? Your passwords, your account info, the password to your phone. Because if something happens to you, the people you love are going to have to figure all of that out. And trust me, you don't want them doing that in the middle of grief. And I know this all sounds heavy, but here's how I want you to think about it. The most financially confident people aren't fearless, they're prepared. They're not sitting around worrying about worst case scenarios because they've already handled them. They've got the insurance, they've got the paperwork, they've got the plan. And because of that, they get to live their lives without that low level anxiety humming in the background. So, your action step: pick one thing on the list and handle it before the year ends. Update a beneficiary, get a term life insurance quote, download a simple will template online. Just do one thing to protect yourself and the people you love, because protection isn't just smart, it's an act of love. All right, let's bring it home. In episode 1, we just walked through your year-end financial checkup together, and I hope you're feeling a little bit more clear, a little more confident, and a lot more ready to finish this year strong. So let's recap the 4 audit steps. Step 1, where did your money go? Review your spending, check if it aligns with your values, and pick one category to rein in before January. Step 2, how did you save and grow? Celebrate what you did save. Top off your accounts if you can, and check your mindset around money. Step 3, what did you earn and learn? Acknowledge your wins, calculate your profit margin, and take one action to invest in your earning potential. Step 4, are you protected? Check your insurance, wills, beneficiaries, and documents, and handle at least one thing before December 31st. That's it. 4 steps, 4 areas, and a whole lot of clarity. Now, here's what I want you to do. Don't wait for January to get this clarity. Do your mini money audit this week. Pull up your bank app, look at your numbers, ask yourself the tough questions, and then share your biggest aha moment with me on Instagram at Everyone's Talking Money. I want to hear what you discovered. I want to cheer you on, and I want to know what you're committing to before the year ends. And listen, if this episode helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Send it to your best friend, post it in your group chat, tag someone who's always saying they need to get their money together. Because the truth is, we all need these reminders. And the more we talk about money openly and honestly, the less scary it becomes. Next episode, we're diving into year-end tax moves that actually save you money. We're talking about how to make the IRS work for you, the deductions you might be missing, and the smart moves you can make before December 31st that could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You're not going to want to miss it. Until then, do your checkup, be honest with yourself, and remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Thank you for spending this time with me. Now go take care of your money so it can take care of you. I'll see you next time.